Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Safe Simple Sound podcast. I'm your host, Alex, and I'm really glad you're tuning in. Here, we believe in empowering you to seize financial control and build a secure future through strategies that are, well, safe, simple, and sound. Today's episode is sparked by an article recently published on SafeSimpleSound.com titled Financial Mastery for Professionals: Is SafeSimpleSound Your Path? It dives deep into how the very skills that make you successful in your career, whether you're a professional, an executive, or an entrepreneur, can be directly applied to achieving mastery over your personal finances. So, if you're a busy professional or an entrepreneur looking for a clear, strategic path forward, this episode is designed for you. You know, you've poured countless hours into mastering your craft. Think about the dedication, the continuous learning, the strategic thinking that got you where you are in your career. You analyze problems, you develop plans, you execute them meticulously. That's your professional edge. So the big question for today is, are you applying that same level of professional rigor and strategic insight to mastering your own personal finances? That's our focus for this segment. First off, let's acknowledge why professionals often need a more tailored approach to their finances. Your success brings unique opportunities, but also unique challenges, right? We're talking potentially complex compensation structures, maybe stock options, bonuses, or equity that isn't just straightforward salary. You're likely navigating higher tax brackets, which demands smarter tax strategies for high-income earners. And let's be real, your schedules are often incredibly demanding, leaving less bandwidth for intricate financial management. Standard, off-the-shelf advice might just not cut it. This isn't just basic budgeting. It often requires specific financial planning for professionals. Now, when faced with this complexity, it can be tempting to either reactively jump at hot trends or build overly complicated strategies. But here at Safe Simple Sound, we champion what we affectionately call the Shelby the Tortoise mindset. Remember the fable? Slow and steady wins the race. It's about methodical, long-term planning. It's about building a solid foundation rather than chasing quick, potentially risky wins. This aligns perfectly with our core safe and sound principles, making deliberate, well-understood moves that build sustainable wealth over time, not just chasing the next shiny object. Think of it like building a successful business or career. It rarely happens overnight through frantic bursts. It's about consistent, strategic effort. And here's the good news. The very traits that make you successful professionally are exactly what's needed for effective strategic financial planning. You likely already value data-driven decisions in your work. You look at the numbers, analyze trends, and make informed choices. You excel at strategic thinking, looking beyond the immediate task to the long-term implications. Maybe you're great at project management or delegating effectively. These aren't just career skills, they are wealth-building skills. When we talk about wealth management for executives or professionals, leveraging these innate strengths is key. The final piece, and maybe the most crucial, is bridging the gap. It's about consciously translating those professional success habits into consistent, disciplined financial action. It's one thing to be a strategic thinker at the office. It's another to apply that same discipline to reviewing your investments, optimizing your cash flow, or planning for taxes consistently. Sometimes, despite having the capability, life gets in the way, or perhaps personal finance feels less structured than our work projects. So, let me ask you to reflect for a moment. How closely does the strategic rigor you apply to your career match the approach you take with your personal finances? Are they in sync, or is there a disconnect? Think about it. What's one professional skill or mindset? Maybe it's your analytical ability, your knack for long-term planning, or even your skill in seeking expert advice when needed, that you could better leverage for your financial well-being. And considering that Shelby the Tortoise mindset, where might a more methodical, slow and steady approach genuinely benefit your long-term financial goals, perhaps cutting through some unnecessary complexity or reactive decision-making? Really mull those over. The core takeaway here is that you likely already possess the core skills and mindset needed for financial mastery because you use them every day in your professional life. The challenge is often just consciously applying that same professional edge to your personal bottom line. So, here's your call to action for this week. Identify one professional habit you absolutely excel at. Maybe it's setting clear goals, maybe it's detailed planning, maybe it's consistent follow through. And consciously, deliberately apply that exact habit to managing some aspect of your finances this week. Just one habit, one application. See how it feels. In our last segment, we really dug into how applying the strategic thinking and dedication you use in your professional life, that Shelby the Tortoise mindset of methodical progress, is key to achieving financial mastery. Now, building on that foundation of strategic thinking, let's zoom in on two absolutely critical areas where that focus pays massive dividends, especially for high achievers like yourselves. Today, in segment 2, we're diving deep into mastering cash flow and strategic tax planning for high earners. Think about it. When you're dealing with potentially complex income streams, maybe salary plus bonuses, stock options, business revenue, or partnership distributions, just earning a high income isn't enough. The real power comes from efficiently managing what comes in and strategically minimizing what unnecessarily goes out, especially to taxes. This isn't just about penny pinching. It's about maximizing the fuel for your long-term wealth engine. So, let's break down how we approach this, starting with point number 1. Foundation first. We firmly believe that understanding and mastering your cash flow is the critical starting point for all effective financial planning for professionals. Why? Because without a clear picture of your inflows and outflows, not just what they are, but why and when they happen, any other financial strategy is built on shaky ground. It's like trying to navigate a complex project without knowing your resources. You need that baseline clarity before you can build anything significant or sophisticated. This leads directly into our second point, moving beyond budgeting. Now, budgeting is useful, but for many high earners, the real leverage isn't just tracking expenses. It's about maximizing income efficiency and strategically aligning your entire compensation structure with your long-term wealth goals. Are you just accepting your compensation package as is, or are you actively understanding and potentially influencing elements like bonus structures, equity grants and deferred compensation plans to work for you? Think about it. Are these different income components optimized not just for immediate cash flow, but for tax efficiency and long-term growth? This really prompts the question for you. Are you strategically managing your income streams and compensation, or primarily focusing on spending? Okay, point 3 is a big one, especially for this audience. Proactive tax strategies. We're not talking about just scrambling for deductions in April. We're talking about integrating tax strategies for high earners throughout the entire year. This is about looking ahead, understanding the tax implications of your income sources, your investments, and even major life decisions before they happen. For example, are you strategically timing capital gains or losses? Are you maximizing contributions to tax-advantaged accounts like 401s, potentially backdoor Roth IRAs, or specialized retirement plans if you're a business owner? Are you aware of how your equity compensation is taxed and planning accordingly? True strategic tax planning aims to minimize your lifetime tax burden, not just this year's bill. This makes me wonder, and it's our second question: how proactive and integrated is your tax planning throughout the year, especially considering your status as a high-income earner? Is it a year-round strategic consideration or more of a reactive task? Now, point 4 brings consistency into the picture. Systematic wealth building. Once you have a handle on cash flow and are proactive about taxes, the next step is moving from simply earning and saving in an ad hoc way to creating sustainable systems for wealth accumulation. This is where the sound principle of consistent execution really comes into play. Think about automating your savings and investments wherever possible, setting up regular transfers to brokerage accounts, automatically reinvesting dividends, maxing out retirement contributions systematically. It's like setting up efficient workflows in your business. It ensures progress happens consistently, reducing the reliance on moment-to-moment decisions or remembering to do it later. This leads to our final guiding question for this segment. What systems could you implement to make your wealth-building efforts more consistent and less dependent on ad hoc decisions? And finally, point 5 ties it all together: connecting the personal and professional. Your career success, your business growth, that's often the engine driving your financial capacity. But it's crucial to ensure the financial demands and goals of your professional life are balanced and aligned with your personal wealth objectives. Are you reinvesting appropriately in your business or career development while also systematically building personal assets? Are decisions about taking on new professional challenges or opportunities considered alongside their impact on your personal financial plan, like equity vesting or benefit changes? Ensuring these two spheres work in harmony is key to holistic financial success. So, let's quickly recap the key takeaways from this segment. Mastering cash flow is your non-negotiable foundation. Go beyond simple budgeting to maximize income efficiency across all your compensation. Embrace proactive, year-round tax strategies designed for high earners. Build systematic, consistent habits for wealth accumulation, making it less effortful over time. And finally, always ensure your professional financial life and personal wealth goals are strategically aligned. Now, for your call to action this week, let's put some of this into practice. I encourage you to review your recent income statements, pay stubs, business P&Ls, whatever applies, and take a fresh look at your tax situation, maybe your last return or your estimated payments. With the points we discussed in mind, identify just one area where more strategic planning could potentially improve your cash flow efficiency or your tax efficiency. Maybe it's understanding your bonus structure better, looking into tax loss harvesting opportunities, automating a specific savings goal, or simply getting a clearer picture of where your money is truly going after taxes. Just find that one potential leverage point. In our last segment, we really dug into the foundations, mastering that cash flow and looking at some key tax strategies for high earners. Getting that baseline understanding is crucial because, let's face it, as your career progresses, things tend to get, well, more complex. And that brings us perfectly into segment 3 today, simplifying complexity, informed decisions for busy professionals. Now, if you're listening, chances are you navigate significant complexity in your professional life every single day. You might be managing teams, developing intricate strategies, handling high-stakes negotiations, or dealing with sophisticated technical problems. You thrive on that challenge. But isn't it interesting how, when it comes to our personal finances, many of us crave the exact opposite? That's the first thing I want to touch on, the professional's paradox. This is that common challenge we see. You're a master of complexity in your 9 to 5, but you deeply desire straightforward, simple financial planning for your own life. You don't necessarily want simplistic results, but you want the process and the understanding to be clear and manageable. Does that resonate? You've got enough complexity on your plate already, right? This desire for clarity leads directly to my second point, the power of why. Think about your work. You wouldn't accept a major decision or strategy without understanding the rationale behind it. You'd ask questions, demand data, expect clear explanations. We believe you should demand the exact same thing from your financial choices and advisors. No black boxes, no confusing jargon. Understanding the why behind an investment, an insurance policy, or a savings strategy is fundamental. It's not about becoming a financial expert overnight, but about having the confidence that your choices make sense for you. That's a core part of the simple and safe simple sound. Clarity leads to confidence. And this clarity becomes absolutely critical when we talk about point number 3, navigating complex compensation and benefits. For many successful professionals and executives, your compensation isn't just a salary. We're talking stock options, restricted stock units, performance bonuses, deferred compensation plans, and sophisticated benefit packages. Making informed decisions around equity compensation planning, for instance, isn't trivial. When do you exercise options? What are the tax implications? How do RSUs fit into your long-term strategic financial planning? These require clear understanding, not guesswork. It's a key area where professional guidance focused on your specific situation can make a massive difference. Now, here's where your professional strengths really come into play. Point 4 is cost-benefit clarity. You likely have strong analytical skills honed over years in your field. Don't leave those skills at the office door. Apply that same critical thinking to your personal finances. When presented with a financial product or strategy, ask, what are the total costs involved? Fees, commissions, taxes? What are the realistic potential benefits? Does this truly align with my long-term goals, or is it just adding unnecessary complexity or expense? Use your analytical mind to cut through the noise. Finally, this all ties into point 5, streamlining your financial life. Let's be honest, as a busy professional, your time is arguably your most valuable asset. Effective wealth management for executives and driven professionals isn't just about finding the best strategies. It's also about implementing them through efficient systems. This means having consolidated accounts where possible, automating savings and investments where appropriate, and receiving straightforward, actionable advice that you can implement without spending hours deciphering it. The goal is a financial system that supports your life, not one that adds another layer of stress. So, as you listen to this, take a moment to reflect. Which aspects of your personal finances currently feel unnecessarily complex or maybe even a bit opaque? When you look at your investment statements or think about your company benefits, how confident are you truly in understanding the full implications, the pros, the cons, the costs, the taxes of those choices? And perhaps most practically, what steps could you take, starting small, to simplify the management of your finances, even if the underlying investment strategies remain sophisticated? Okay, let's quickly recap segment 3. We talked about that professional's paradox, managing work complexity while craving personal finance simplicity. We emphasized the crucial power of why, demanding clear, jargon-free explanations. We touched on navigating complex compensation like equity compensation planning. We encouraged you to apply your analytical skills for cost-benefit clarity. And finally, we highlighted the immense value of streamlining your financial life, especially crucial in effective wealth management for executives and busy professionals. Now, for your action item from this segment. Knowledge is great, but action is where change happens. I want you to identify just one complex financial element you currently hold. Maybe it's those stock options we mentioned, a particular investment fund, an old 401, or an insurance policy you bought years ago. Your task is to commit this week to seeking out a clear, simple explanation of exactly how it works, and importantly, how it fits into your overall financial plan. Find a trusted source. Maybe it's your advisor, maybe it's diligent research from a reputable place, but get that clarity. All right, folks, welcome back to the Safe Simple Sound podcast. In our last segment, we really dug into simplifying complexity, making sure you understand the why behind your financial choices, especially when dealing with things like equity compensation or navigating those sometimes confusing benefit packages. Knowledge is power, right? But understanding the pieces is one thing. Putting them together to build something truly lasting and secure for your future, that's the next level. And that's exactly what we're tackling in this segment. Building your secure future by integrating growth, protection, and legacy. So, what does this really mean? We're moving beyond just thinking about retirement savings as a single goal. We're talking about crafting an integrated vision for your wealth. Think of it like designing and building your dream home. You don't just focus on making the living room look great, right? You need a solid foundation, a functional layout that works for your lifestyle now and potentially later. The structure itself built soundly to last, and maybe even thinking about who might live there after you. True comprehensive financial planning brings all these elements together: wealth growth, asset protection, flexibility for life's pivots, and your long-term legacy intentions into one cohesive strategy. It's about making sure all parts of your financial house are working in harmony. Now, a crucial part of that foundation, especially for the high achievers, professionals, and entrepreneurs listening, is creating your financial safety net. This is where our SAFE principle is paramount. We're talking about implementing tailored asset protection strategies. You work incredibly hard to build your professional income and accumulate assets, but are they adequately shielded from unexpected risks? Think about professional liability, potential lawsuits, or other unforeseen events that could jeopardize what you've built. It's not about being fearful. It's about being prudent. strategically structuring your affairs to safeguard your hard-won success. So, here's our first reflection point for you. How well does your current financial plan balance the pursuit of growth with the need for security and asset protection? Are you focused heavily on one side while potentially neglecting the other? Of course, while protection is vital, we absolutely want growth. Particularly for high earners, leveraging that professional income effectively is key. This isn't just about saving, it's about strategic growth. This is where sound execution shines. We want to optimize your investment strategies to make your money work harder for you, harnessing the power of long-term compound growth. Imagine planting seeds versus just storing them in a barn. Strategic planting in the right conditions yields a far greater harvest over time. That's what we aim for with your investments. Sound strategies designed for sustainable, long-term wealth building. But life isn't static, is it? Careers evolve, markets fluctuate, unexpected opportunities arise. Maybe a chance to pivot your career, start a side business, or even take that dream sabbatical. That's why embracing financial flexibility is so important. Your financial plan shouldn't be a rigid structure that breaks under pressure. It needs to be agile, adaptable. We design plans expecting change, building in the resilience to navigate shifts, whether in your career, the market, or your personal life, without derailing your core objectives. Which leads to our next question. Looking ahead 5 to 10 years, how might your career or personal life realistically change? And is your financial plan flexible enough to adapt smoothly? Or would a significant change cause financial stress and require a complete reactive overhaul? And finally, let's talk about the really long view, developing lasting wealth and legacy. This moves us beyond simply accumulating enough for your lifetime. What kind of impact do you want to leave? For many, legacy means ensuring financial security and opportunity for the next generation. For others, it involves significant philanthropic goals, supporting causes they deeply care about. It might mean structuring the succession of a business you built. Defining what legacy means personally is the first crucial step. From there, specialized legacy planning services come into play, structuring things tax efficiently, ensuring your wishes are carried out, and making that long-term vision a reality. So the big question here is, what does building a legacy mean to you personally, and how are you consciously incorporating that vision into your financial strategy today? So, let's bring it all together. Building that truly secure future involves looking at the whole picture through comprehensive financial planning. It means implementing safe asset protection strategies to guard what you have, pursuing sound strategic growth to build more, designing flexibility to navigate life's inevitable changes, and thoughtfully planning for the future you want to create with legacy planning services. It's about ensuring all these pieces work together seamlessly. Okay, time for your call to action for this segment. Really take a few minutes this week, maybe over the weekend, and reflect on your long-term vision. Think bigger than just that retirement number. Does your current financial plan explicitly address asset protection, flexibility for change, and your specific legacy intentions? Be honest with yourself. Are these critical components actively planned for or just vaguely hoped for? Thinking through these deeper layers is truly what elevates financial planning to financial mastery. It ensures your strategy isn't just about numbers, but about supporting the life and impact you truly want. All right, that brings us to the close of today's discussion here on the Safe Simple Sound podcast. We've really covered some crucial ground, diving into how established professionals, executives, and entrepreneurs can leverage their inherent skills for financial planning for professionals. We started by exploring how to apply that professional's edge, the dedication and strategic financial planning mindset you already possess, directly to your personal finances. Then, we tackled the absolute cornerstone for high earners, mastering cash flow and the critical importance of proactive tax strategies for high earners. A point that I hope really resonated was from segment 3, that need for simple financial planning and clarity, even when dealing with complex elements like understanding equity compensation planning or sophisticated benefits. It's about demanding that understanding, which is key for busy professionals, including those navigating wealth management for executives. And finally, we tied it all together, looking at the bigger picture of comprehensive financial planning, integrating growth, essential asset protection strategies, flexibility, and the forward looking aspects of legacy planning services. It's truly about building a secure, adaptable, and meaningful financial future. The core message is that achieving financial mastery is attainable by applying the same rigor and strategic thinking you use to excel in your career, guided by principles that are safe, simple, and sound. Thank you so much for investing your valuable time with me today. I truly appreciate you tuning in and being part of the Safe Simple Sound community. For links to the original article and other resources mentioned, please check out our show notes for this episode. If you found this discussion helpful, perhaps share it with a colleague who might benefit, or consider leaving us a review. It really helps others find the show. And of course, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss our future discussions designed to help you build financial security and peace of mind. Until next time, stay informed, stay empowered, and keep making those sound financial choices. This is Alex, signing off.